Hello, fellow stargazers. This is Dr. Vicky speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today, we're going to look at the astrology for the sign of Virgo. That's Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, Virgo Rising for the year of 2024. This is a general reading for general trends for Virgo. If you're more interested in more specifics, you can check out um, my monthly taroscopes where I do a astrological evaluation of the sign for that month, and then a tarot reading followed by that. It gets a little bit more specific as to month by month, but if you really want to know what's going on, a personal reading is preferable. I do hour, an hour and a half personal readings. You can find those on my website. There's a link below if you really want to know uh, who you are, but you probably know that already. But you know where your destiny lies and what's ahead for you and what's the energy like. There are times when it's better to do stuff and not do stuff. So astrology can help us navigate our lives a little bit more in harmony with the energy of the universe. Some people have a natural um, knack for that. But some people like the analysis, and you happen to be one of those people, Virgo. All right. So before we get into that, though, I've decided I have a Soulflower Plant Oracle deck that was talking to me when I was starting to do these, saying that it wanted to be heard. So this Oracle card that I pull will be for the entire year for you, Virgo. So sort of like an overlayment. And these plants are also medicinal, and not to say that this is not and has nothing to do with really um, I'm not telling you what to take or what to do in that respect. This is the entertainment portion, as it were. But let's take a look at Virgo. Evening primrose, rebirth. Well, it's interesting because evening primrose is one of the herbs you would use for like a PMS or perimenopause for that. So if that's an issue for you, um, again, this is not a medical thing. Check with your physician or your naturopath or your chiropractor, whoever you see. Okay, evening primrose helps you to release old wounds and feelings of rejection, self-pity, and other heart-heavy issues you may have carried from birth or early childhood. She allows for the sort of a spiritual rebirth or a birthing of your true self so you can make room for more joy, fun, playfulness in your life. Evening primrose, rebirth. May even want to consider putting some evening, if you have a garden, putting some evening primrose in your garden to help you with that energy. All right, so let us take a look at Virgo. All right, so we're looking at Virgo 2024. Virgo is a mutable earth sign, and your mantra is I analyze, and your ruling planet, of course, is Mercury. Now, because your ruling planet is Mercury, let's start with Mercury this year. As always, Mercury goes retrograde 3 times this year, usually 3 to 4 times a year. Mercury will go retrograde. And this year, it's predominantly going retrograde in the fire signs. So we have a retrograde in Aries, we have a retrograde in Virgo moving back into Leo, and then we have a retrograde completely in Sagittarius. So the retrogrades, times of rethinking for you, sometimes times of difficulty. So Mercury is going to stay in those areas longer when it's retrograde than if it just flies through an area of your chart. So we have the first retrograde happening in your eighth house of other people's money, your relationship, your emotional relationships to people, right? That eighth house. Also the house of taxes. This is a good time to make sure. And it does happen, the retrograde happens the 1st to the 25th of April, right around tax time. So if you happen to be an accountant, which is not an unusual thing for a Virgo to be, this is going to be a very busy time, but you might find you have to do things more than once. So give yourself the time for that. The Mercury retrograde that happens in Virgo and Leo, that begins on the 5th of August and goes back and goes all the way to the 28th of August. So August is a Mercury retrograde period, and it's in Virgo and Leo. And for you, that's Virgo is your oh, actually, this is in the wrong place. All right, let me fix that for a second. I'll be right back. We have Virgo here in the wrong place. 1 second. Oops. Sorry, trying to change something and okay. Yeah, I fixed the problem. So Virgo of me. So we have that second Mercury retrograde from the 5th to the 28th of August. That retrograde starts with Mercury in your first house, 4 degrees, and then it backs into the 12th house. And so most of the Mercury retrograde that happens in the summer is happening in that 12th house. And the 12th house is a house of self-undoing. And so it's also a house of karma. It's also a spiritual house. So it's not all bad news. But you do need to review any tendencies towards shooting yourself in the foot, right? And so that's something that you need to consider at that time. And then the last Mercury retrograde happens in Sagittarius, and the dates on that are the 26th of November to December 14th. So like Thanksgiving and the beginning of the holiday season there at the beginning of December is when it's retrograde. It's retrograde in Sag is generally about belief. For you, Sag is your fourth house. So there can be some issues in the family and the family of origin, perhaps some miscommunications, or certainly a need to look at some things about around beliefs, around maybe religious situations, religiosity, whatever. But there's a challenge there and a need to really sort of dig. When Mercury is retrograde, the answers lie within. The answers lie within. And so it is happening around the holiday times. And as much as we would like the holidays to be Norman Rockwell, most people, that's not their experience. So not alone in that struggle. All right. So that's the Mercury retrogrades. Mars, the planet of action, starts the year in your fourth house. Okay, right. So that means it's in your fourth house this Christmas as well, this holiday season as well, 2023, I mean. But it moves out, goes into your fifth house of self-expression, and then moves around and makes it all the way to just inside your 12th house, and then it goes retrograde. That happens in December of 2024. And so we're not going to talk much about that. If you want to do the tarot scopes during the year, we'll be specifically talking more, and I'll probably do something specific for the Mars retrograde, which I have done in the past. So so you can look and see that later. Don't worry too much. Just know that a lot of your energy this year is going to be about relating to others, and then sort of how you take what you've learned from those experiences and apply it to your work for the collective. Okay, so that's where the energy lies with Mars. The nodes of the moon, the north node is in Aries now, the south node is in Libra. It'll be that way all year. We have two full moon eclipses. We have two new moon eclipses. Usually there's at least two and two, right? Sometimes there's three. Sometimes it's a lot of eclipses, but this time we only have 4 eclipses, which is plenty. The first set of eclipses occur in the 26th, right? No, hold on. The 25th of March, we have a full moon lunar eclipse at 7 degrees of Libra. So for you, that is happening in your second house. It illuminates something. It is a north node eclipse. The sun is at the north node with that full moon because the sun is in Aries when the moon is full in Libra. The axis of your personal resources and your shared resources come into focus. Issues of life and death come into focus here. You also, and then we have the new moon solar eclipse at 20 degrees of Leo. That's going to be happen at Leo, Aries. Sorry about that. That's going to be happening in your 8th house. New moons are about new beginnings. That particular solar eclipse we can see in the United States. I think it goes from Maine to down through Texas. And so it actually starts, if this is Maine, right? It starts up as if I'm looking at the map. Maine is up here, Texas is down here, right? Oregon is over here. In 2017, we had the one that went this way. That's the one where they said, don't look up without eye protection. And Trump looked up, right? Because he's Trump. He can do whatever he wants, right? And then this one in 2024 goes like this. And it actually creates an X. It's actually more like this. Around Southern Illinois, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee, that area, which has been very politically active traditionally, and even now, a lot of changes and shifts in that area. So we'll see how that bodes. And that's happening in a presidential year, right, for the United States. So not to worry, though. There's no point in worrying about it. You just got to do what you have to do at the moment and apply your energy in the best way you can to the situations you find yourself in, and be your best self. And there isn't much more you can do than just live your life to the best of your ability, because that changes everything anyway. So, all right. So eclipses. Mars, I talked about Mars. I talked about Mercury. Jupiter starts the year in Taurus. It does move into Gemini on the 25th of May. It's been in your house of Taurus I'm sorry, Jupiter in Taurus has been in your 9th house, sort of expanding your worldview, but in a very practical way, right? Taurus, well, you're a very practical sign anyway, because of course you're an earth sign yourself. Once it moves into Gemini in that 10th house, it's squaring your sign, and it's a last quarter crisis and consciousness square. So this is a time when you can really sort of step up and take a position where, instead of taking orders from other people, that you're giving orders. And not that you're giving orders and now you're the pooh bar, and but like you move up a step, so you're sort of more self directive and more about your free will, and instead of like fitting into somebody else's idea. And then that expansion through the 10th house means that you're going to be seen for what you do. So be prepared, Virgo. All right. I know you have a little bit of stage fright with that, Virgo, but I understand. So I have Virgo too. Okay. Saturn remains in Pisces all year. You're still dealing with your relationships, challenges to relationships, but Saturn tends to stress test things. If it works, it will continue to work, and you'll know it. If it doesn't work, there's nothing you can do to make it work, and you're going to have to let it go. That's just the way Saturn works. It's very black and white in that respect. And so you will be faced with choices around relationship because Saturn is there. Now, Neptune is also there. It's been there for a while. It's been there since 2011. There's a spiritualizing factor to Neptune, and can sometimes be quite confusing for Virgo, especially if you have Virgo planets. What? My cat has come in. Interestingly enough, pets are ruled by Virgo. What? And I don't think he's a Virgo. He strikes me as a Leo, actually. He's quite demanding. Come here. Come here, baby. All right. Let's see. So Saturn, Uranus. Uranus is okay. Uranus is in Taurus all year still. Uranus has been sitting in that 9th house. And so you've had some realizations around your belief systems, perhaps. Um, what do you believe to be true? Things that you thought you were sure of with Uranus there can sort of shake things up. And that is a 7-year period of time. So it also awakens you to higher perspectives and a connection to your higher self. So that's always a good thing. Hi, baby. And then lastly, Pluto. Pluto starts the year in Capricorn. It's in that last degree of Capricorn by the 20th of January. It moves into Aquarius. So it's moving from your fifth house, where it's been since 2008, and now moves into your sixth house, where it'll be for 20 years. So Pluto from Earth to air. Interestingly, Jupiter is also going from Earth to air. There's a real shift here from earthly things to airy things. And so our focus will be probably more on communication over the next 20 years and technology and how to utilize it, hopefully for the better, and not have it be utilizing technology to make us even more tribal than we already are. So we'll see how that works out. But there is a shift. And so we have Pluto in Capricorn for just the first 20 days of the year. And um, then in Virgo time, in September, it moves back into Capricorn and it's there till the 20th of November. So just one little last dip of the toe into Capricorn in Pluto and Capricorn, and then it goes into Aquarius and stays there for a long time. Pluto in that fifth house has been a transformation of the way you express yourself, could be transformation and change around your children. And now it moves into your house of work, health, and service. So there's still plenty of work to be done, but you do have to pay attention to your health. Which is not new for you, Virgo, because that's pretty much a Virgo theme anyway. Right, Charlie? All right, well, that's what I see, guys. Let me stop the share. As I said, if you enjoy this, please like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Check out my monthly tarot scopes for what's going on monthly for your astrology sign, and the bonus of a tarot reading. And if you want a personal reading, there are links below. I am going to be starting a Kabbalah class at the beginning of this year. Probably not right at the beginning, but maybe like the second or third week of January. So if you're interested in learning about the Kabbalah, here's your opportunity. All right, guys. Well, take care of yourselves. I hope to see you before next year. But in the meantime, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a wonderful year. Have a wonderful life. From me and Charlie. Take care. Namaste. Right, Charlie? Namaste. Such a good boy. Take care, everyone.